Welcome again. In this chapter, we are going to see sudo and su command. The sudo program allows a users to run a command on the system as a different user, by default as a super user. It is always recommended to use user account than using root or super user. The main reason behind this is that as humans are prone to do mistake and can delete the entire system by mistake if logged in as the root. However, in certain situations like installing packages in the system or others, we might require root privileges. In such cases, we need to elevate our users' privileges to root level and then perform the task. Let's see how this thing works. We can elevate the privilege of user with the following two approaches. The first is sudo command. Suppose you are a normal user and wants to install a package called Docker in your system. To do that, you need to have root privileges which you can get through sudo command. To get the sudo privileges, your username should be added to the etc sudoers file. Otherwise, you will get an error like username is not in the sudoer file. Let's try to run a command to create a user. Here you can see I have a user Linux dev 3, Linux dev 3 and Linux dev 3. And okay, so Linux dev 3 exists for 4. Here you can see I am adding more options while creating a user. So same sudo, okay. And to verify the user, let's check groups and Linux dev 4. Okay. Now let's add this user to the sudo file. For that purpose, we need to run vi sudo and it doesn't have permission. So sudo vi sudo and now and just add under the section user privileges specification Linux dev 4 all equals to all colon all and then control X yes and then file is saved and then we save and exit. Please note that if you use Linux dev 4 all equal to all and then no passwd colon all line, then the password is not required while using sudo, which is not recommended. So it is always recommended to use password while using sudo. And then you need to add the user to the sudo group. Use this and a and then Linux dev 4. Okay, groups Linux dev 4. Here you can see sudo is one of the group for Linux dev 4. Now let's try to switch to Linux dev 4. Su -u Linux dev 4. We will see su command later in the chapter. Here I need to run the password and you can see I am now behaving as a Linux dev 4 user. Now to install the packages like Docker, I need to run sudo. For that, let's see what happens if I want to install the package without sudo. Apt install docker.io. Here you can see I don't have the permission to install. Now use sudo apt install docker.io and when I add the password, you can see I can now install Docker in the system. Right now I will do N because I don't want to install. This way, any normal user can behave as a super user and install the packages. Now let's come to su command. Su is basically short form for switch user or substitute user. When we use su command, we are actually switching to a specific user and we need to enter the password of that particular user that we are switching to. Like in our previous demo, while installing the Docker package, we switch to the Linux dev for user and then install the Docker package. That's all in this chapter. Hope you find this chapter interesting. Thanks for watching. In the next module, we are going to see file ownership and permissions. See you in the next module.